All right, so one of the teams that is going to be squarely in the mix next year if they have a quarterback, and that's going to be the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Reports came out over the weekend that obviously the Baltimore Ravens are going to franchise tag him. And the thing that caught my eye in the Ian Rappaport report was basically, the Baltimore Ravens could be swayed into trading Lamar Jackson with a lucrative deal, right? A lucrative package. So that's the first time, in my opinion, that anybody has floated the idea of trading Lamar. And I believe, Ian Rappaport is the NFL media reporter, so he gets a lot of inside information. It funnels through him. I believe this is massive because this is the first time somebody's acknowledged, probably from within the Baltimore Ravens organization, that they are willing to move on for him. What's your thoughts on that report? And do you believe, obviously it'll take a lot to move off of Lamar Jackson, but what do you think the report's coming from? And do you buy it?
Oh, that's coming from ownership. That's coming from Biscotti and or Biscotti because Biscotti's a cookie. But
Good
yeah,
cookie
that's coming
too.
from. It is a good cookie, but no, it's definitely coming from the ownership box. Especially when you think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where John Harbaugh couldn't shut up about how Lamar is his guy and he expects Lamar to be back and they're going to work through the contract situation. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, we're going to tag him for sure. And if we get a Don Corleone, I'm getting an offer that I can't refuse type of deal for the trade assets, Lamar, thank you for your services. Best of luck with your future endeavors. So, like, that
Mhm.
is Biscotti essentially telling Lamar, because Lamar is his own agent or his mother acts as a quasi agent type of deal. That is Biscotti saying, like, there are going to be other avenues that we can explore, that we can
Mhm.
look for the future of the team. And, I know the ownership group, will probably say, like, oh, look what Brett Hundley did in relief. It was 3 games and somehow homeboy made a play, made the Pro Bowl. That's a different story. Unless
Yeah. Oh,
unless they're just simply factoring in, or they're looking that far down the road to see, like, what is the quarterback class going to be like for the next 3 years. And that's something you
mhm.
could probably speak more towards than me at this point. But maybe they're just reading the room. They're looking at the AFC North, and it's like, okay, like, it's really Joe Burrow. It's us if Lamar's there. And is Kenny Pickett really the guy? And Deshaun
He is.
Watson, like, is he, coming? Is he getting Le'Veon Bell here, and he missed a whole year? Is he really going to recapture, like, his glory days from the Houston Texans per se? Like, maybe they're just looking at the room and saying, if we can hit in the draft, then we could probably compete with Joe Burrow. Maybe worst case, make a wild card spot. Maybe that's like the calculus that's factoring in their head. Ultimately, I think they're going to tag him. They're going to figure out a long-term deal because they don't want to lose Lamar as an asset, not just for winning, but just for bringing people in Baltimore to that stadium.
I believe they won't get a long-term deal done. I believe they're going to franchise tag him, try to squeeze one more year out of him,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe after this year they're going to either move him or he might walk, which I doubt he'll walk, but they'll probably end up moving him for some trade assets. I think Bashadi is looking around the NFL, and we had this conversation a couple times now. Is Lamar Jackson going to beat Burrow, Allen's, Mahomes on a consistent basis? No, he's not. Simply put, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's not going to be able to outgun Joe Burrow alone in his division. When Deshaun Watson is healthy, engaged, and not funneling massage therapist, he's a much better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. So I think Bashadi sees the landscape. He sees what his team can and can't do. I think we saw that in the Super Bowl with a quarterback in Jalen Hurts who's run first, lose to a quarterback that's just special throwing the football. And that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Like, you've got to have a special throw of the football in the NFL. And as special as Lamar Jackson is, he's not that. So couple that with the fact that I think Bashadi wants to send a message. I think I've had this conversation with you before about how Bashadi, Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, these seasoned veteran NFL owners, I think they're trying to take the league back. I think they're trying to corral
Mm-hmm.
this NFL quarterback market. Like what the Haslams did was like just spitting in Bashadi's face, basically. And I think he's trying to set an example with Lamar Jackson. So couple all that with the hiring of Todd Monken. This is the one part that kind of doesn't fit into my narrative is the fact they hired Todd Monken today and Lamar Jackson had input. Now, obviously, if you made your mind up about Lamar Jackson, you probably wouldn't ask for his input, right? You'd probably be like, "Ah, whatever it is, it is what it is. What it is. We'll just make it through for this year and then figure out next year." But that's where my little narrative falls apart is the hiring of Todd Monken today with Lamar Jackson's input.
You actually just took my next point, right out my mouth when I think Bisciotti is just trying to corral back the free agency market because the Haslams completely torpedoed that with the fully guaranteed contract, and you could look at the injury history per se, in his playoff performances. To be quite frank, I don't think they're going to justify giving this dude, a blank check essentially and guaranteed money. Todd Monken is definitely interesting. It was kind of funny because I honestly had Cliff Kingsbury going there ultimately to try to air out that offense. But it sounds like he came back from Thailand. He's been interviewing for some jobs. So
has he really?
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
I don't know if it was through Zoom with him drinking a Mai Tai on a beach in Bangkok, or wherever, because I think Bangkok is in the middle of the country.
I hope for Cliff Kingsbury that he took his girlfriend or wife with him to Thailand, because middle-aged man, Thailand.
Yeah, that's some questions. That's for PFR After Dark.
I'm just saying it looks a little weird. I'm just hoping he took his girlfriend with him.
Yeah. You're laying it on pretty thick. But no, it's going to be interesting.
I could make so many inappropriate jokes right now, but I won't.
We could definitely go that way. It's roll the dice.
Nope.
But Devin Duvernay is going to be wide receiver
family
one for
show.
that team. Oh yeah, fun for all. Fun family show here.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to figure out getting playmakers out there because not counting Mark Andrews, it's Devin Duvernay at wide receiver. That's your be all end all. So are they going to be in on the DeAndre Hopkins market to have him with Lamar? Maybe. I don't think that's a bridge too far, but now is that really going to help get Lamar a blank check pretty much, unless he's just going to, like you said, play out on the tag, see what they do this year. And if they make a deep run and he wins more than one playoff game, then he gets the long-term extension. I think a lot is going to be hinging on his performance this year, assuming he is not traded on the tag.
Well, I mean, I think DeAndre Hopkins, obviously is a viable option, but I don't think his skill sets match up with Lamar Jackson's skill sets. I truly believe Lamar needs pieces around him like a Julian Edelman used to be, right? Or Mark Andrews is obviously perfect for him. If I'm those guys in the Baltimore front office, I'm looking at that Gronk Hernandez tight end model and trying to mimic that. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find a way to, I know it's not going to happen, but try to go to Gronk and be like, listen, do you want to come back for a year, man? Do you want to catch some touchdown passes? Whatever you got to do to somehow mimic that tight end duo that the Patriots had in the early 11, 10, 12, 13. That's what you got to do. You got to complement his skill sets, and getting him a burner down the field, it's not going to do well for him.
Mm-hmm. But is DeAndre Hopkins even a burner down the field anymore?
He's not, but he's technically a guy that stretches the field, correct? He's a guy that's outside the numbers. He's a deep to intermediate route runner. I would try to focus on somebody in the draft. Maybe if Hunter Renfrow can be shaken loose from the Ravens, Hunter Renfrow would be absolutely dynamite for Lamar Jackson.